Hi, this is Joe again with another review, and I continue my theme of Halloween movies, or Halloween themed videos since we're in October. We're a little bit more than 2.5 weeks to Halloween. Even though I decided to do another Halloween theme or redo one of my other videos, because a year ago I did a video more like an overview of various TV specials, Halloween TV shows, and I figured, okay, and I did a brief overview of everything, and I didn't. I don't think I give like a real fair share of every single video, but I am going to do one in particular, and it's most likely the only one I'm going to do with the animated shows. So I don't want to do a video of everything, but I'm going to do one and just touch on one and see if we get through feedback when we do other ones. I'm going to be doing, of course, the classic or the definitive animated show for Halloween, and of course the 1966 Peanuts special. It's the Great Pumpkin Trolley Brown, which I found out. I know my friend, the Rowdy Reviewer, has done a TV trash review of this show. I think it's 2 years ago, and he did a great job on this. So I'm not going to step on his toes and rehash a lot of the stuff that he's done, but I'm going to be discussing this one, do my own take on this. Well, like I said, this is actually the third Charlie Brown special, or Peanut special. I used to call them Charlie Brown specials because the name Charlie Brown is in every title of every special that ever made. And this is actually the third one. I thought this was the second one, but doing research on it, this is the third show. The first one, of course, is the Charlie Brown Christmas, and was the first show. The second one was Charlie Brown All Stars. And of course, this is the third one. This came out in 1966, and first it aired on CBS, and for I think like over 30 years, it aired every year on CBS. And then I think since 1999 or 2000, up to now, it's been airing on ABC, followed by United Electric Charlie Brown on ABC. Well, and so on this show, this is a show that took a lot of the stuff that Charles Schulz did in the strips and put in this special. The main story, of course, of those of you who don't know, we live in a cave or something, you've never seen this show, is with Linus. Well, the main storyline focuses on Linus waiting in a local pumpkin patch all night, waiting for the Great Pumpkin to show up, and of course, big surprise, he never shows up. But another spoiler for saying he never shows up. But it is the show that people wait every year to see, and it does have several other plot points in it. Most notably, the one that is just as eagerly you're waiting to see if Linus does see the Great Pumpkin, which unfortunately is one of the unresolved issues of not only of this special, but of the comic strips in general. That one of the things that's never been resolved in the Peanuts universe is that Linus never got to see the Great Pumpkin. It would have been nice if before Charles Schulz died, first he's summing in the strips, and then he died like about a month later, for him to see the Great Pumpkin and resolve that issue. But unfortunately he never did. And it never made another Halloween show which you see the Great Pumpkin in. The other subplot that a lot of people wait for is to see Snoopy fight the Red Baron. Of course, a lot of people say, what does the Red Baron have to do with Halloween? Well, I guess we need to stretch out the special to a full 25-minute show without the commercials. You want to have something with what Snoopy does. You always have a subplot what Snoopy is doing in a particular special. I think it really started with this one, and that's about every special after that. you have a thing where Snoopy is doing it by himself or with Woodstock. When the Woodstock character was made, back in the 70s, to have a bit with Snoopy and Woodstock. And of course, this is the first version we actually see Snoopy actually doing a full segment, or a subplot devoted to what he was doing. And that sequence was damn good and damn entertaining to see. And maybe a bit scary for the little kids, because you see Snoopy getting shot down and going through the battle lines in France and all, with Snoopy's imagination. And of course, the other subplot, of course, one that gets talked about the most, other than the Big Pumpkin and with Snoopy, is of course a bit with the kids of the Peanut Gang go out trick-or-treating, and one of the big complaints is of course Charlie Brown always ends up getting bunks of rocks in his bag. I don't know where they would give out kids a bunch of rocks for Halloween. If I didn't want to give a kid candy, if it's a kid or a parent they don't like, I never give them candy. I said, sorry, I don't want to give your kid candy. And that'd be it. I never had like a little bucket or plate full of rocks to give to one particular kid. Charlie Brown, for some reason, he always ends up every year on Halloween. He always gets a bunch of rocks. Then because of how popular Charlie Brown is, he never gets any rocks. He never gets candy either. And there's another unresolved issue in the strips as well. And Charlie Brown never gets candy for Halloween, and all that stuff. And it's like one of the big things that I brought up to Rally Reviewer is the fact that how do the people in the town, when the Peanuts universe lives in, knows there's Charlie Brown on the sheet. True, he has the only sheet, there's a bunch of holes all over the sheet because he messed up cutting the sheet up so it could look like a ghost. But still, how did I know it was Charlie Brown? And if it was Charlie Brown, I would throw the rock back in the house. Or at the house, through a window in the house, throw the rock back at them. They're not giving me candy. For me being the only one not getting any candy, and they're going to throw the rocks back at them. That's what I would have done. But naturally, even at that time, they didn't allow the characters to get too violent, even at that time. But of course, the main part is, of course, Linus singing in a stupid pumpkin patch all night, waiting for the big pumpkin. And said, always the problem is that where the hell the parents are in the Peanuts universe. And of course, the parents don't go out and get Linus and say, hey Linus, let's go. And said, but the Great Pumpkin will show up. The Great Pumpkin's going to show up. I don't want to miss him. And of course, he tells all the kids, look, if we wait in the pumpkin patch, he'll show up. And of course, he never does show up. It's like that play, waiting for Godot, and Godot never shows up. Same thing with the Great Pumpkin. And a lot of people nitpick and say, oh, it's waiting for Jesus Christ to show up. Which of course is not the case. What the case was, and Charles Schultz mentioned this, especially I think one of the time that he was retiring or the continuous airing of the special, that he made a comment or made a statement and look, it's because it's a Halloween version of Santa Claus, and figures that Santa Claus, the kids wait for Santa Claus every year for Christmas and figure, hey, I can do one for create a Santa Claus type character for Halloween, and that's why I came over with the Great Pumpkin from. And of course, there's no such thing as the Great Pumpkin either, but like Santa Claus, no such thing as Santa Claus, there's no such thing as the Great Pumpkin either. But to wait for Linus to see the Great Pumpkin, the thing that really stands out in this special is how mean all the other kids are to Linus, because in the beginning of the episode he writes a letter to the Great Pumpkin, he actually he waits with Sally because Sally decided to wait with him, and then she eventually leaves with Charlie Brown when she finds out that he's like they're waiting all night, and Sally gets disgusted, and of course we're not gonna give it away, but Snoopy does show up in the pumpkin patch, and Linus thought that was the Great Pumpkin racing out of the pumpkin patch, and he faints, and the camera turns around and you see that it's actually Snoopy, not the Great Pumpkin, and of course Sally throws a hissy fit because I'm waiting all night for the Great Pumpkin, and all that came was a beagle, and of course she gets annoyed and leaves with all the rest of the gang with Charlie Brown and everyone else, and Linus still stays there all night, and now it's 4 o'clock in the morning on November 1st. Here comes Sally. She wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She goes out, she gets dressed, she puts on a coat, she goes out, gets Linus. Not the parents, but Sally. Picks Linus up and brings her home. Puts him in bed, and that's it. I think that's ridiculous that the parents don't go out and get him. Or have a scene where they ask Lucy, "Where's your brother?" Your brother out of the what's pumpkin patch is he in? So we can go get him. That doesn't exist. If it was any other special, I'm sure that they would have a scene where the parents go out and get Linus and not Lucy. But since in the Peanuts universe there are no parents in the Peanuts universe, the only time you hear is maybe you hear like a trumpet with a muted trumpet sound. Every time when a character would deal with an adult, you hear that musical sound and not an actual voice. But in this show, they didn't really establish that type of a thing yet in the Peanut specials. And so not to see the parents going to get Linus and Patch it's really ridiculous, and it's really quite disturbing. Because your other kids would come along and beat up Linus, or what they used to do in my day was to bomb somebody with eggs and shaving cream, hit Linus and destroy the pumpkin patch with eggs and shaving cream. They could have done that in this show, and they didn't do it. I don't think kids used to do that then. I think they used to do it then in the 60s. And all throughout the 70s and throughout the 80s, even throughout the 90s, kids used to do that. But that wasn't done in this special either. One of the other bits that I didn't really touch on yet was that this is the special where Charlie Brown does get invited to a Halloween party. And of course, Lucy makes a joke about it, saying there's 2 lists Charlie Brown, one to invite and one not to invite. You must have been put on the wrong list. Of course, at the party scene, no one says, "Hey, Charlie Brown, why are you here?" Or kick Charlie Brown out of the party. Or you were inviting him by accident, type of thing. That's not brought up in that particular sequence either. Which is funny. The only bit with Charlie Brown in the party sequence was that Lucy and Violet used Charlie Brown's on the back of Charlie Brown's head as a model to carve out a pumpkin that they had. Of course, Charlie Brown was fuming over that because now he's a bald-headed kid. So naturally, and his head was just right, so I could use his head for a model for how to carve a pumpkin. Use the back of his head, or the drool on the back of his head, as a model for the pumpkin. But of course, there's also the sequence where Snoopy breaks it, crashes the party, and gets into the apples for Bobby, and he of course, and Lucy touched lips, and she starts screaming with the dog lips, poison dog lips routine, which of course is always kind of funny and always exaggerating in these specials. But in terms of the show itself, and of course, naturally, of course, it's the show, and unfortunately, it's the only Halloween themed animated show that's still constantly on regular television. Which to me is a shame. To me it's a shame. It's a real big shame that that's the only one that is, because I grew up watching other shows like you did in the animated review video I did. I talked about other shows that was constantly on television, and unfortunately the Peanut special, as much as I like that special, that's the only one that's on. There was a Bugs Bunny show that's not on anymore. There was Garfield Halloween show that's not on regular TV anymore either. There was also a Fat Albert Halloween show, which is, I think it's on Bounce TV, which if you could pick it up, or if you don't have cable, if you have to have a TV with a digital tuner in it, you might be able to pick that channel up. But for the most part, I'm talking about regular channel. I'm talking about from channel 2 through channel 13. At least here in New York, we have channels 2 through 13. That only the Peanut special is the only one on regular television. They're shown for kids every year. But there are television shows that do a Halloween themed episodes. I'm not complaining about those shows. I'm talking about the animated specials. And unfortunately, like I said, I think about 5 times already, this is the only show that's on regular TV. And I'm talking about animated specials. I don't know what the other cable channels are going to do. They're going to show, let's say, Bugs Bunny or Garfield or Fat Albert. I don't know if they're going to show those specials the week of Halloween or on Halloween itself. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Well, I know the Disney Channel used to have a Disney Halloween show, but I don't think they aired that show in years, in almost 20 years, I think. But in terms of this show, of course, well, to finish up the review, I know I went on a tangent there. To go back on the show, the last scene of the special was Charlie Brown and Linus sitting on the trademark wall, talking about what happened the night before. And Charlie Brown tells Linus, I went out, I said, you're staying in the pumpkin patch all night, and the green pumpkin didn't show up. And Linus says, no, well, last night I went out trick-or-treating, and all I got was a bag full of rocks. And I can't believe I got a suit. I went out trick-or-treating all night last night, and I got now this bag of rocks and didn't get one piece of candy. And you waited and trying to ask Linus if the green pumpkin never showed up, right? He said no, he never showed up. And of course, Charlie Brown says, but don't feel so bad, Linus. I think there's plenty of stupid stuff too. He says, stupid? What do you mean stupid? And he went on this tangent as the closing credits were rolling. He says, wait till next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see. I'm going to find pumpkin patches even more sincere. And that's how he finds the pumpkin patch, depending on how sincere the pumpkin patch is. I mean, I don't know how he knows if it's a sincere pumpkin patch or not. I don't know how the hell he determines that. But he says, oh well, I find pumpkin patches even more sincere than this one or whatever. And I'll see the great pumpkin. But like I said in the beginning of this review, he never sees the great pumpkin, and that is pretty much talked off in our Peanuts fans, because I'm talking about people who used to read the strips every day, but those who, like me, not only that I read the strips, but I used to watch the specials every year when they would come on TV. Now because of video, well, it is the old VHS, but I'm talking about VHS and DVDs and these specials, you can see it anytime. You don't have to wait to October or to Halloween to watch this stuff. And to see the show and not having Linus at least once see the Great Pumpkin is really a joke. And Tom Soach really like to abuse his characters. I mean, I don't mind if he had created this whole storyline with the Great Pumpkin, but to not have Linus see the Great Pumpkin and say, "No shame." You know, it's really unresolved, and I really would like to have them make another special when they actually see the Great Pumpkin. And also not only that, but this is about the only holiday special in the Peanuts universe where they don't explain what the holiday actually means. True, they go trick or treating and they have a Halloween party and they have the whole Great Pumpkin and the pumpkin patch stuff. But this is the only holiday where they don't explain what the holiday is. Unlike the other holiday specials where they have a scene where mostly liners describe what the holiday is. There's the only one that doesn't have that. If you want to know what the holiday is really about, you can go on YouTube and you can look for the true story of Halloween, which is a History Channel documentary. It's about 45 minutes long without the commercials. It tells you what the real holiday of Halloween means and how we got all these traditions of trick-or-treating and stuff. So it's a very good documentary if you've never seen it. And I recommend you go see that documentary or watch it if you ever have the time to do it. So that's my review of Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please follow this video on your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time, and maybe we'll do another Halloween themed movie, or a scary movie next. Thanks for watching.